So at Spotify, one of our biggest problems is really scale, to be able to handle a lot of content generated by a lot of users. So everything is just about scale, making sure it works all over the world for all our millions of users. So one example of some content that our users create a lot are playlists. Our users created more than 1.5 billion playlists. And one of the interesting things about playlists is that it's shared user content, which means that different people can view each other's playlists. They can also edit each other's playlist if you allow them to. And all this introduces some interesting challenges. So at Spotify, we decided to solve this problem using version control, which is a known technology that you typically use for managing source code, but it can also be done to enable things like collaborative editing or undo functionality and whatnot. And the way we did version control is kind of interesting because it's something that can be applied to other things than just playlists. For instance, many people use shopping carts as a good example that you can do version control on just to retain some history. But you can also do it on, one example I like to bring up is Google Docs, which is a collaborative editing environment where you can edit text together. And there are many more like it. All of them use this internally, some kind of embedded version control. So there are several challenges with this, and we ended up using Cassandra as a storage engine for how to store this data. So Cassandra is a big NoSQL database, very popular. It's used by many companies. Netflix is the biggest user of it, and they use purely Amazon, running all their Cassandra clusters to Amazon. We're still not there yet, but it's a database that works awesome when you're storing a lot of data. It scales very well, very linearly, and it's actually very suitable for storing this kind of data that Playlist has, that when you use version control to store stuff. So that's really my main point with the talk is that how we can use Cassandra to store version control objects at a large scale and get good performance out of it, performance that's good enough for millions and millions of users.